Hello, my friends. Hello. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. So, before we start the video, I just want to kind of talk for a second. First by saying I'm sorry if my voice still sounds a little bit weird. I'm still congested from getting sick on my way home from the trip we're about to talk about. So I just sound a little, again, I don't think it's that different, but it might be a little bit different. But my voice has a nice clicky sounds right now, which I like. I know some people don't, but I do. Anyway, in this video, I will be showing you some of my experiences and photos and videos that I took on my trip to Italy, which was a 2-week tour of Italy, self-guided, meaning I planned it, and I was the one who had to manage where I had to be and when and all of the activities and all of those things, which was interesting and very stressful. But I made so many memories. I met lots of really nice people. I made new friends. It was a wonderful time overall, even with the getting sick part. In this video, it'll be like a bit of a timeline. There were some periods where I just didn't get that much video. I also took a total of 2,000 videos, about 100 flow art videos, so there might have just been things I missed and didn't remember that I took or whatnot, so forgive me if there does seem to be some skipping or just feels like, wow, it doesn't feel like you were there for very long. Some places I was longer than it seems in this video, but this is just a menagerie of all of my little experiences, and I thought it would be fun to talk about it a little bit. I am also no historian. Yes, I learned some things while I was there, but honestly, pretty limited. I was so blown away by the beauty of things that I honestly just didn't, get to absorb as much information as I might have liked to. There was just so much going on, and I was very overstimulated and overwhelmed by just everything all the time. So, okay, I'm sorry about that. Something was being wacky with the microphone, but what I wanted to finish by saying was that this video will just kind of be me talking, showing you some things and I'm just kind of rambling while you guys get to look at some visuals, and I kind of just tell you a little bit about the trip. It's not going to be very in-depth or crazy or anything like that. So, without further ado, let's actually get into the video. So, we flew quite a bit into Germany, and then from Germany to Italy, and it was absolutely gorgeous. Kind of really can't even explain how beautiful the sky is. I want to also say, I should have said this to begin with, but this was my first time in an airplane. So that's kind of why I'm saying that, because I have never been in an airplane before. It was truly magical, and by the time we got to Rome, which is where we flew into, it was nighttime, so you got to see the nightlife. And we went straight to bed. The next morning, we went to go see the Colosseum, because it was very close to where we stayed. And I couldn't believe how big it was. Like, I'm still kind of blown away by how massive the structure was. And we got a cappuccino and then kind of wandered around until we found this cool little church with an olive tree or olive trees outside. And I think I got some pictures of the olives, yep. Inside the church, it was ornate, beautiful, magical. It had quite a vibe about it. And there were some famous paintings, not paintings or artwork that I know the names of. I'm sorry, but it was amazing. This was all within the first day. We got to see all this amazing stuff. We walked around, came across some amazing and really, well, I don't want to keep saying amazing, but beautiful buildings with some crazy structures. And then we went to the Palatine Hill, where we had a guided tour for this, so we kind of walked around. There was this really cool garden area that we're kind of looking at right now. The whole Palatine Hills were just unbelievable. There were all these statues and beautiful floral arrangements. Again, I have all these pictures that I took. And then we got to the Colosseum. Colosseum was amazing, very busy, really crowded, very, very protected by security. They check everything all the time. It was a little annoying just because I had a lot of stuff with me, so they had to check all my stuff constantly. And then we kind of walked around. We got higher up onto the Colosseum. And again, very crowded, very busy, really amazing though. They showed you some of the trap doors and stuff of how the animals would come out and fight the gladiators and such. Here's some pictures that I took. Those are the seats that some of the higher ups got to sit in. There was a trap door, all that. After that, we actually took a trip to the Vatican, which is where we are now. It was beautiful. Might be one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. It also had such a aura, such a vibe. It was honestly a bit overwhelming and breathtaking. Again, very crowded, very hard to move. But it's the craftsmanship. I couldn't stop. My neck hurt by the time I was done because I just spent so much time looking up. Like you can see this up at the ceiling. Because I just can't believe that we as human beings built all this by hand. This wasn't a machine, you know? We did this. And it's unbelievable. It makes me feel like I'm not doing enough. It makes me feel like I should be doing more somehow. Because I will never make anything as beautiful as this. But, I think we then got to, more ceilings, with beautiful artwork. We did end up going to, we went everywhere in the Vatican. We definitely ended up, we were able to go, basically, I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting if we did end up going to the Sistine Chapel, went to St. Peter's Square. It was, the Sistine Chapel was amazing. Again, they gave us, what is with all these loud cars? They gave us all of 20 minutes to look at the Sistine Chapel, and I probably could have sat there and looked for another 20 minutes. And they don't allow you to take photos or videos in there, so I didn't get any photos or videos of that. But these tapestries, I was fascinated by those. Like, these were also all made by hand, by somebody. Like, I can't get over it. It's just so beautiful, so detailed, so ornate. And every square inch of the ceiling was just art. It was just art, art, art. Like, again, an artist's dream. It was just non-stop art. And what people can do is it's a testament to how amazing we can be. Again, that's why I have so many ceiling videos, because I honestly just wanted them so that I could watch them and look at everything again, because it was amazing. Again, my neck was killing me by the time we were done with this. And they had all these tapestry maps too, of Italy, parts of Italy. And I thought that was really cool. And it was cool too, because I got to see one of the tapestries, of where my family is from, which was very fun, and it was cool. And they're honestly pretty accurate, which I also think is cool. They're not perfectly accurate, but they're pretty close. I think the Vatican tour ended up being this was after the Colosseum, but it was actually the next day, and this was our entire day. We did everything that you could do in the Vatican while we were there. We went to every location that was accessible to us. We even climbed the top of the Vatican, which was really a fun adventure, and we did it with a person that we met along the way who was very, very friendly, from the UK. So we made a new friend that day as well. But I will show you, I think, once we get outside, because then we got outside, and, that was my tummy. I'm hungry, apparently. And the vastness of the square was just unbelievable. And again, look at how many statues, all so detailed, so perfectly, and very well maintained too. So then we started to climb. This was when we started to climb the Vatican, and we started to climb to the top of the dome. And there was all of these amazing pieces of artwork, mosaic artwork. The ceiling of the dome is just one of those things that I could have sat there and stared at that for a really long time too, but we were trying to make it to the top of this because it was a bit of a trek. And I wanted to look at the mosaics more, but then you go up these stairs that are actually curved. It feels like you're in a fun house because you're actually entering the dome here. And again, everything is slanted. You're falling over. It's pretty funny. We were laughing, and it was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. It felt goofy. And I got some of these pictures from the top. I didn't get any video because it was all caged, and it didn't look good. But I took these photos of the square and just of Rome, because this is the highest point in Rome. You can see everything from here. It's very beautiful. And there was all these little gardens. Here's another photo. Yeah, this one. And that was also it was actually more challenging than going up. My stomach is making so much noise, like I haven't eaten in a year. Anyway, I apologize. I guess I should have eaten. Anyway, so we ended up going down there and then exploring the area around the Vatican. We saw the fountain, and these are just a little montage of photos. I'm not gonna have them for too long. And then we were done with Rome. We were only there for about 3 days. And it's actually 2.5 days. So we waited for the train, and then we took the train to Pisa. And I've been on lots of trains and public transport, so that wasn't new for me at all. But I will say that the public transport in Italy was next level. Very clean, very well maintained, and everything felt like it ran really smoothly. Nothing was ever late. It was just very well managed, much better than anything I've ever experienced in the US. So that was a lot of fun. It was really nice to get to see some of the less busy parts of Italy, some of the more quaint parts. And before we knew it, we were actually alongside the ocean, which was so blue. Like more blue than any ocean I've ever seen. It was beautiful. I wanted to get off the train and just go take a dip. But once we got to Pisa, we wanted to go see the Leaning Tower. And you can see it in the distance there. Because we were only in Pisa for 1 day, and it was just to see the tower. And then once we got there, it was pretty awesome. There was all these other places you could go and walk around to. Everything was just beautiful. I mean, again, there's only so many times you can say that, really. There wasn't a single portion of this trip that wasn't gorgeous. And so we just kind of walked around the area because the tower was very busy, and there was a lot of tourist trap stuff and people trying to put things on us and ask for money, so we ended up just leaving because it was too much. And then we hung out in a room on the balcony as the sun was setting, and I got some pretty nice photos of the nightlife. It was very beautiful. Then the next day we were in Florence. We took a quick bus over there. And Florence was amazing. Kind of crazy with the shopping. There was a lot of shopping places, and it was felt a little, I don't know, a little too touristy or something, in a way. We came across a bunch of really beautiful buildings. We also ate the best in Florence. The food was immaculate and amazing. And I just couldn't get over this building. It was the most beautiful building I've ever seen, period. We came across this statue, a bunch of statues, but after that we rode Vespas to Galileo's lighthouse, or observatory. Why did I say lighthouse? Which was really, really cool. That was fun. We got to eat lunch there, right next to it. A little restaurant. So we took Vespas around the Tuscany hills. And it was probably my favorite part of the trip, but I was not expecting this about the Vespas. Vespas go really fast. I thought they were scooters that went like 20 miles an hour. They go 90. So I was not prepared to ride a motorcycle. But the views were amazing, and I usually kill you if you don't do it correctly. And people on the roads of Italy do not care. They will drive right by you, right alongside you. The roads are tiny. They're barely enough to fit one car in them, so it's pretty intense, but it was worth it. It was probably like, again, we had a bunch of other moments that were amazing, but if we're talking about the overall experience and considering how long this was, because that was a whole day, it was my favorite. And after that, we had drinks on the balcony of the school building. And that was nice, and there was nobody there, so we had it all to ourselves. It was super quaint and nice and easy to just, be goofy and have a nice time and take a look at the view and record stuff without worrying about getting people on camera. And then after that, we left Florence. We were only in Florence for, I think it was 2 days, basically. And then the train ride took us to Venice, which was our next location. Venice was definitely one of the big ones that I've always wanted to see ever since I was a little kid, and I remember reading books about a city on the water. And it did not disappoint in that regard. It really is a city on the water. And I heard a lot of people telling me it would be stinky and smelly. It really wasn't that bad, honestly. Lots of shops, lots of people, but it wasn't as busy as the other locations that I was talking about. It was honestly felt a little more quaint in a way. Certain portions were bad, but we saw gondoliers. We wanted to do a gondola tour or gondola ride. I did not do it. It was one of my big disappointments. But and then I think after that first day, we went on a boat tour of some of the surrounding islands, which again was so much fun. We went to, I think it was Murano, Borano, and Torcello. Those were the islands, and we got to see a person doing glass blowing, glass making. He was, glass crafts. And it was really cool. That was a fun experience to get to see somebody who was clearly so talented make a figurine out of glass right in front of my eyes. It was very busy, though, and it was hard to, there were people in my way, like, constantly. So I apologize if some of it doesn't look the best. I tried my best. But, he ended up making a horse, is what this is. Or a unicorn, maybe. Might have been a unicorn, because I think it has a horn. I thought it was a horse originally, but now that I'm seeing the horn, I might be mistaken. It's crazy that you can cut hot glass with scissors. It was very fun. I got a kick out of this for sure. But you can see he's trying to bend the tails now so that it stands on its own. And there it is. So after that, we went to the next island, which I don't know if I got a lot of video of. I think I did. There wasn't much on that island except for some place to get food. But I also just like being on a boat, so that was a lot of fun for me anyway. I just enjoyed looking out the window. Yeah, this was basically the end. We just took a walk down this path and then got some food, and then that was basically it. We didn't do much of anything here. It was very pretty though. Like, it was really enjoyable. Like a nice little view. Super quiet, nobody around except for the few, some of the tour people that came with us. It was really nice here. Definitely. It was just kind of a was all the colored houses. And I got some other shots of Venice, you can see here. And then we were done with Venice. We were there for a couple days, but nothing eventful happened. So then we went down to the Amalfi area. We didn't stay on the Amalfi coast, but we stayed right next to it. You can see Vesuvius there on the train. This train ride was very long. It was a 7-hour train ride from Venice to the Amalfi area. And our view from our room was amazing. We got there pretty late, but this was the video I took once we got there. And that night there was a bit of a thunderstorm, and I caught some of the lightning on camera, which I thought was cool. Let me see. I don't know how many of those I got, but I got a few of them. I was pretty happy with how it came out. I just thought it was cool to get some shots like that of the lightning flashing. It was kind of relaxing too. I was out there for probably an hour watching it. So, as far as what we did here, we didn't do much. This was kind of the relaxing period, but we soaked in a hot tub that was underneath a lime tree. Because we had done so much walking and crazy stuff at this point, I was kind of like, I don't really want to do too much. And at that point, I was actually just starting to feel a little like I might be getting sick. So we were just trying to take it easy, not do anything too crazy. And Minimo had a really nice time looking out at the ocean. He really liked the view. So that was a big plus for us. And this was taken on the last day of summer in Italy, which there were a lot of fireworks going off. But I didn't end up getting those on video. There was some other video, or photos, but there was not much that happened that was worth mentioning. So we kind of just, after that, I think we were there for 3 days. Then we left and went back to Rome, but on the beach, because we wanted to be on the beach like this, on a sandy beach for the last day. And it was really cool. It was nice. We got to eat out at a beachfront place and watch the sunset. And the cool thing was this was very close to the airport, so we didn't really have to, we didn't have to make a long trip to the airport that morning. It was honestly, at this point, I was so anxious to get home, because I was just kind of feeling a little homesick and tired, and I was feeling sick this day, that I was just kind of eager to get on a plane and get back home. So we did. The next morning we woke up and we flew home. We flew again back to Germany and back to where I live. And overall, it was an amazing experience. Again, I know this was kind of fast and kind of felt like maybe I was all over the place a little bit. Sadly, that's just kind of how the videos and photos ended up coming together. But the experience was much longer and felt much longer than this video conveys. It was 2 weeks. 2 solid weeks was by the time it was all said and done. And I can honestly say it changed me. I think I grew as a person from it. I feel more confident as a person. I feel more confident with what I'm able to do. I even feel more confident talking to people after this. I have always been very bad at, initiating conversations with people that I don't know. But I ended up finding myself talking to people so often and just striking conversation up with random people. Even people who didn't speak very good English. gosh, it was fun. I met somebody from Turkey, and we talked a bunch, just about things. It was kind of funny. It turns out, like, we have a similar, and we had a similar name, which was fun. Just that, his is Turkish, so it sounded different, but it was very fun. He was a very wonderful person. We met multiple very, very sweet and kind people from the UK. So shout out to the UK. You guys are on my list as well to visit sometime. And we met some wonderful people from Canada, and of course we met plenty of wonderful locals. I can honestly say that even though, yes, it was stressful, yes, it was crazy, that it was one of the greatest, if not the greatest, adventure of my life. Here's a little montage, or a little, what is it? No, collage of photos that I took. And that's basically it. I think that travel is an important thing. I think it broadens your mind. I think it broadens your outlook on the world. And I think that a lot of people think that, if you're on the internet, you have access to the whole world anyway. But it's so different when you're really there, when you really go out and meet people and talk to them in real time and have real experiences, and I encourage people to do it. I know it's expensive, trust me, this was not cheap, but I've been wanting to do this for a really long time, and eventually I made it happen. And I can't wait to do it again. Hopefully not super, super long, not a super long time from now. But thank you all, of course, for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I know, like I said, it was perfect by any means. But, of course, I wanted to show you guys some of what I did. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the trip. Primarily because I was gone for so long due to it. And I had literally dozens of comments from people saying, like, when are you coming back? I miss you. I didn't know you were leaving. I didn't know you'd be gone this long. And, I just wanted to show you, well, this is where I was. This is what I was doing. Yeah, I really did it. I didn't just, lie about it or make it up so that I didn't have to upload for 2 weeks.